Welcome back everyone, I'm Jewel, and today we're in the Giants editor for doing mapping, map making for Jewel's Peaceful Valley map, which is a Farming Simulator 19 map. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Appreciate all the new subscribers. We're going to go ahead and start doing some on our roads. This was just a test here, testing the bridge, getting one across those. But this, I'm going to try to take off this green part here and not add that and see how that works. And this bridge is a little narrow since I shrunk it to the road, but I'm gonna probably make the road wider, so I'm gonna do that. So I guess what I'll do then is delete this one because it's just getting in the way. So as you can see in the scene graph on the left hand side of the screen, we have two roadway 1s. Well, that was just me accidentally. I should have called it roadway 2 on that one when I was just doing a test. But anyway, we're going to delete that one and be good to go. Now this one, I'm not sure yet which lines I want to use. If you saw my other video I made about this road making and the paint.net, I showed how to paint these lines on one video, and then on a different video I showed how to paint a bunch of different lines, like some yellow ones and other ones. So if you haven't already checked those out, check both of them out. And then also there's another video that shows you how to lay down the Spline Street Constructor with roads using that. So that's what we're going to do a little bit in this episode, but the other one is more specific to that. Thinking about doing this one over here with this bridges. I'm leaving these markers here. Normally you would delete them, but in this case I haven't decided which road I'm going to put here, so I need to keep these markers here for a moment until I decide, so I can put the right road in. But that was just to get it to show that it will fit and it is correct. But I'm going to run on over here and look at the bridge. Let me look and see. Not that one. I'm thinking about doing this one over here. It's a shorter piece and it's a little curvy and it goes across a bridge, and that's what I want to test. And I want to widen the road to fit the bridge, take away the green on the edges, and see it's got these curves. Now I may have to adjust this, whatever I have to do I'll do, even if I have to change it up completely on that part. But you just have to do trial and error. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and come over to this edge where we start the road at, and you're going to start right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I need to open up the Spline Street Constructor, which is in my case is in downloads, and I made this folder. And then you come here and it's all opened up, ready to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and right click here, click File Explorer, open up another one, and go to downloads, and then open up the marker. See, this is where the marker is. So that's what you would have to, that's what you would have to bring into the map. So I'm just showing you that. Alright, so that's what we're going to be using momentarily. Now see these here where it says roadway 1 and roadway 2. Roadway 2, if you saw that episode where I was showing you how I had done a road. Let me slip over here to it. I had done a road about right here. See this from here to here, just to show you the example. But I deleted it because I didn't obviously go through the whole road. Obviously that'll be put back. And so that one I'm going to be able to use that I3D that I did for number 2 again. So the one you saw that said the I3D number roadway 2, I'm going to use it again, so I don't have to make a new one on that one. Now on the other one, I think the Splines 1 was the one right here, that was the one I did that went to the roadway 2 one, which I should have named it Splines 2, but I didn't. So I need to rename this one 2, and then those two will match. And then when I go forward, I'll say roadway 3, splines 3, and so on. Now, I'm not certain. I guess most people would use the same roadway 1 over and over again, potentially, if they deleted theirs. Like if they went ahead and deleted the markers after they put the road in. But I'm not sure. I would think not, because the roadway is the I3D on there. So I would assume you wouldn't do that. So I'm going to make a different one for each one. So anyway, we're going to come over here. We're going to import our marker and get started. Hit File, Import, and the marker, we got to go to Downloads, Marker Main 1, open up this, hit Post, hit Open, and then it popped it down at the bottom down here. And we also, in the meantime, before we do any further stuff right here, we need to make us a transform group. And we need to click on the transform group, roll up over here in the attributes, and we need to change the name of it to roadway 2. Alright. Just to keep things in order. And so now we need to take this plane 001, which is the marker or the post, as you may have seen that it said. Hit edit. After you highlight it, hit cut. Click on roadway 2, the one you just created, the one you're working on, and hit paste. Now you have it in there. Now you're going to make sure that the plane is highlighted 001, and you're going to put it, hit Control B as in boy, and click it, left click right where you want it, and then left click again where you want it. Another thing that's important, I forgot to tell you, when you're on the roadway 2, while it's highlighted, this arrow, this blue arrow, needs to be facing the way that you're going to be laying your road. Now if you started laying your road on this side and came this way, it would need to face this way. If you're going that way, it needs to face that way. So you can also change it by on the Y or whichever. I mean, I don't know if it's 90. Oh no, I'm hitting the wrong one. Let me go back. Actually, I need to take the that out because that was supposed to be done first. So let's take that out of there, and then paste it into the regular area. Okay. Now we can click back on roadway 2 and get on excuse me, that's my dog. On the rotate Y, we can try different ones. 90, nope. So it's probably 180 maybe. That's pretty close. It's not quite. Let me see, 160. Alright, let's drag it. Well, we don't have to drag it, just come up and see what it looks like. Not quite. What about 150? What about 140? You just want the arrow pointing the way that your road's going to be going. I mean, I think that's pretty close. I guess we could go to 130. That's pretty close, so I'm going to leave it at that. From my understanding, you don't have to do it here. You could just grab it and rotate it and make it pointing the correct way. So, but it worked for me, so it should work. If it don't work, well, you'll see it on this. Alright, so now we're going to click back on the plane, cut it, put it in the roadway 2, and paste. And once it's in there, make sure it's highlighted, hit Control B, click where you want it once, then again, And then you're going to come over here, make sure the arrow is facing the right way, twist it around. Now, pretend there was a road here. Okay? The very edge of the road is where you want to put this square right here, because that's where it's going to butt up to the road at. So I'm going to roll in a little bit, try to get this angle correct. And see if the red line is indicating it's going to come across here. And we want it to be more of an angle this way. So if you can see how that would be. So you'd back it up, try to get it right to the edge because you want it to meet up. And it's hard because there's no road there right now. So, and that should put that arrow right on there, and it should drag right across. It should be pretty close. And I think that's good. And make sure the blue arrow is facing the way you're going to be going pretty much. And now we can start turning and curving. But first you're going to duplicate. So you're going to hit Control D while that's highlighted. It's going to duplicate this marker, drag it over, lift it up, drag it over, go back down a little. You're going to roll in where you can get a little closer. And you're going to tip it a little bit. Going to lower it. You're going to tip it this way a little bit. You're going to lower it a little bit, forward a little bit. You're just trying to get it in a position that looks like it'll be good flow. So that one, I mean, it looks okay. You could lower it a little bit, tip it a little bit. I mean, I don't want to tip it sideways too much. So, and if we have a problem with this angle, we'll have to adjust this road because we want this to butt straight across right here. So now you're going to click back on this one. If you're satisfied with the way it looks, you need to look at the back side. That's not good, so we need to fix it. You need it to be pretty level. So get this side pretty equal to that side. Okay. Now you're going to hit Control D. Drag it along. And every time you have a change in the level, see how I drug it and then it did that, dropped in, that's where you want to lift it at. So you want to stop there, and that's where you want to end it and place it. So now we got to tip it the other way a little bit. We could lift it just a little bit. And if we want, we can drag it, tilt it this way a little, and see how that looks. And if we're happy with where it's at, we can leave it there. Then hit Control D and go forward again. And you can see it barely went under it there, so that means right there we'll have to smooth that possibly once we create it. But as you can see, the rest of it moved right along pretty far. It's pretty flat right there. So you can go a little further when it's flat. We won't go all the way, we'll go a little bit and then just do it. Alright, now we're going to tip it, lower it, not that far. Okay, make sure them are good. Now that one may be a problem potentially. This one needs to tip up just a little maybe. Let me go to the back side and look. Okay, good. Alright, so now we're going to come over here. That one might have to come up just a little bit. You're just trying to look at it to see how it's going to flow. Alright, so Control D. Drag it out. Okay, see how it started going a different direction? You could kind of turn this, go back to this one and turn it just a little bit. Then you can grab this one, drag it over, and then you're going to turn it. And then you're going to roll in closer so you can see it. Going to tilt it a little bit. Bring it down. And get it leveled. And you should be good. Check the back side of it. Not too terrible. Tip it up just a little. That way just a little. And it should be pretty close. So you're going to hit Control D again. Move right along. See how it changed? So we're going to go ahead and do one there. Okay, that was hitting the wrong thing. Got to make sure you can see it. There you go. Lift it up. Tip it a little bit. Let me check the back side. Pretty level. Now you're going to come up here where you can see, just to make sure everything looks like it's flowing good. And as you can see, it's curving where it's starting to curve at. So you're going to hit Control D when you're satisfied. And you're going to drag it forward with this line. And you can see it changed pretty quick. So we're going to go on and lift it and drag it a little bit further, because we can always adjust it if we have to. Alright, you're going to come on down where we can see. Bring it down. Tip it over just a bit. Front looks pretty good. Check the back side. It's up a little high, I think. Let me see. We'll tip it just a little so it levels and angles at the right direction. And we potentially still have to adjust it. Alright, Control D. Drag it forward. Tip it this way a little bit. Drag it over a little bit. Roll in. Bring it down. Tip it this way. Not that far. Sometimes it goes further than you want. Check the front. It's a little bit tipped. We'll get a little flatter. Check that alignment between here and there, just to see that it's not too crazy. Control D. Grab it. Bring it forward. You can see it looks like you can... let's click undo for that one. Alright. Gonna bring it down. About right there. A little bit to this side. Not much. It's pretty good. Perfect. Alright, so we're gonna tip it a little bit. Get it angled into this bridge area. Actually tip it this way just a bit. Trying to equal these two sides out. Control D. Now I've not done a bridge yet, so this is going to be my first time floating it over a bridge, so we'll see how that goes. If it don't work, I may have to paint in the ground first, then lay the stuff over it, the markers, and then do it, so we'll see. Alrighty. So I left it at the same level, so it's got to be close. I'm not quite sure. We'll drag it over and try to center it as best I can, and then lower it. I'm gonna have to lower it some. Oh, undo that. Alright, come closer where I can see it. Alright, now I'm gonna lower it. And I'm assuming that it's at the right level. If I look at it, maybe come up a little bit. Alright. I'll turn around, have a look. Looks pretty good. I'm not sure, but we can always adjust anything. So we're going to hit Control D and drag it forward. The only problem is it's going up, looks like to me. Let's see. I'm gonna come down a little with it, but it's hard to say if it was coming up or not. If you could see where your plane is at, so it's a little above it. See, it's hard to get a good shot. It's not very much You can tell from it. I don't know, I'm gonna pull it up a little, I guess. I can't tell. We're just gonna have to wing it and see what happens. I really don't want to twist it too much, so hit D. Drag it on over. And let me go down and try to look at a level. Not bad. I'm gonna just call that good. I don't want to keep changing the level and see if I can get it. And run it on over. Just feels like it's coming up for some reason. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to lower it a little bit. I don't know why, but it feels like it's lifting. Maybe not. Okay, Control D. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit Control D again. Bring it on over. See what we got here. Control D. Probably could have went straight across the bridge from this side, skipped straight over to this side and done it, I would assume, but just in case, I'm gonna try it this way and see what happens. I think it's good enough. We can always lower or move the bridge if we have to. Control D. And Control D. And we should hit, oh, looks like we're gonna have to lift it. Okay. Not too much. I would assume that we could smooth that out if we have to. I'm not gonna make too many adjustments. Let's look at it from up here. It looks alright. Alright, let's finish up this little bit. Oh, I picked the wrong road. I was supposed to do a different road. I don't know what I'm picking this one for. Oh, I picked the long road. Oh well. It's all good. They all have to be done. Control D. Drag it over. This one needs to come up some. Right there. Tip it over a little after I get it to highlight. Right there. Go to this side, check it. Alright, we're still going straight for a minute. Well, we could start to move it a little bit. We don't want to go too hard right here, just because of how it's situated. Control D. And this time we're going to make a little bit more of a turn, even if we have to move the painting of that road, because we want it to not struggle coming off of this. So, I'm going to lower it, tilt it, lower it, tilt it back a little, tilt it forwards a little, because it's starting to go down, and then come down. That's where we might run into some issues, but we'll see. Alright, so Control D, bring it forward, and as you can see it was a change, so we're going to go ahead and put it here just to get that change in there. Turn it some more, can drag it over, get it closer over here, tip it forward a little bit, lower it, tilt it, just making that look pretty level to it. And once you're satisfied, Control D, drag forward, and you can see there's a change. So we'll go ahead and drop it here and tilt it a little bit. That's not too bad. We might tip it over a little, just a bit. Should be alright. That might be a hang up back that way. This one we may have to make a different angle of a curve. I may do a 90, I'm not sure. Alright, let's Control D. Bring it up. Bring it over. Tip it back. Tip it over. Lower it. Back some more. And once you're satisfied that you're, conforming to the road, which it's not, gotta tip it up, undo that. You have to get up there a little closer so it doesn't tip on you too much. Alright, we may have a hang up here, I'm not sure, we'll see. I might tip this way so it starts to flow this way a little better. So we'll have to see what happens. Control D. Alright. What I might do, back it up a little. This is probably going to be too sharp of a turn, at least doing it the way we're doing it. We're going to have to figure out what the angle is going to be. Let me see. Tip it ever so slightly. Lower it. Alright. That one just don't look right. It's going to have to be tipped forward a little bit. Alright, it should be okay there. Alright. This one might not work either. It needs to be twisted a little, lowered, and tipped forward a little. Alright. Hopefully it may have to be tipped forward even more. Alright. Now a lot of times what you have to do is make it so that it makes a 90. So I'm trying to decide what to do. Control D. Drag it out. Let me see. Let me try it. 90. Nope. It needs to be a negative 90, I think. See, it wouldn't be in the right spot though. See, normally it would go and then turn at that angle. I don't know if this one, usually it don't have to be, so I'm not sure. We could try it. I don't think it's gonna work. Because the curve needs to. Let me go back and look this way. It might. We'll try. I don't know. Let me lower it down and see. But I don't think it's gonna work. We'll have to adjust it if it don't work. And it'll be a good time to show you the errors and how to troubleshoot the errors. It'd be good if it shows up while we're doing it, because if it doesn't when I'm not, if it works right for me and then it don't work right for you, then you need to see how to troubleshoot it. And so obviously this road was just a guide. We're not having to follow it exactly. And we'll just drag this over and over a little bit, turn it a little bit, turn it here a little bit, so we can kind of start getting back on our path. Come on down to this, tip it over a little, drag it down, and there we go. That should be enough. I'm not sure. We'll see. It's a good test to show you. Drag forward, about right there. Lift up. Tip it backwards. Roll where we can see. Tip it over a little bit. Down a little bit. Should be good. And we'll go ahead and Control D. Bring it up. Tip it. And we'll lower it down. Tip it over a little. Come on up. Check it. From the front side, looks alright. Alright, so there's obviously will be a road here at that point. It'll curve. We'll see what happens. If not, we'll try to start curving sooner and see what we can do. We'll try to just curve here and not make it such a sharpness if it don't work. Control D. You have to modify it as you go because sometimes things just don't do what you want it to do. Alright, so now we're starting this curve. Let's come on the back side so we can actually see. Bring it down. Now naturally you would probably want to do road 1 and 2 closer together, if you started over there, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have it wherever they are. Wherever I decide to make a road, that's where it's gonna be. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Let's check the front. The front could use a little help. We'll focus on the front. Make it up a little bit. Alright, we might have a hang up right here. We may have to flatten that. So we'll just have to see. Bring it forward. And over. Down. Twist it a little bit. Up. Forward. And bring it down. Bring it up. Okay. Let's drag it over. Control D. Drag forward. And you get the point, but I want to show you in real time so you can see how long it really takes. And not just, all of a sudden there's a road there and you're like, sure. Tip it a little bit. Down, down. Alright, check the back side real quick. Now the back side, I'm not too worried about that angle. Just worried about the front side mostly. And we'll see what it does and says. We'll see how many errors it throws us. Hopefully not too many. Alrighty. Bring it up, tip it up. Roll down, see it. Tip. Go to the back, check it. Not terrible. Alright, I'm gonna stay on this side, I think. Just start to tilt it a little bit. Control D. Drag forward. I'm gonna back it up a little since we have this. It's gonna come up. That's why I'm backed it up a little. Just take it down. Look at the front. I think it's not terrible, but let's tip it a little bit. A little bit more. Not bad. Control D. Drag it forward. As you can see, it's going to start coming up here. So we're going to bring it on up. I'm going to move it. I don't want it too close together. And as you can see, got to tip it a little bit. Bring it down. Let me see. Not too much. Tip it back a little bit. Check this side. Tip it back a little more. Maybe a touch this way. That's good. Bring it around a little bit more. Control D. Come on forward. Lower it. Well, undo that one. Bring it down where you can see. Lower it. Twist it. You don't want to go too far though, because it could be a problem. And bring it down. Bring it forward. Bring it up. Check the back. Not bad. Alright, Control D. And we're almost to the end. We're getting there. Takes time. Bring it over. Mostly tip it up. Lift it up a little. Tip it up here. A little more here. Have a look at it. Not terrible. Bring it back. It's not bad. It's still... Tip it a little bit. See how that looks. It's a little bit. Needs to come up a little. There we go. Tip it around a little bit more. Control D. Bring it forward. Slide it over a little bit. Lift it up. Tip it. Roll in. Tip it some more. That's a little bit steep. We don't want to go that far. And check the back side. Could be tipped a little bit more and down a little bit, because it's going to hit that a certain way. Tip it around a little more. Don't want to go too much just yet. Alright, Control D. Bring it on over. Lift it up. Twist it. Drag it back. That might be too steep, but we're going to test it, so just to show you what it'll actually do if it doesn't like your turns. It'll throw the little tantrum, so get ready in case you're not expecting it to be a problem, because it don't like certain things. Alright, let's go here. Alright, Control D. And lower it down a little bit. Tip this over. Try to come over a little more. We don't want to go too far, because it's already pretty steep of a curve here. Checking this side's what I'm looking at. Not terrible, but I think we'll manage. Control D. We'll test it. It's the only way to get it done is to try. And we're going to lift it up, drag it over, twist it around, try to line it up with this one. Okay. That ain't too much of a curve. Bring it over a little bit. Tip it back some, lay it down some, tip it over a little bit. Just a little bit. Bring it back over. Just a bit, because we'll be moving anything that it gets over it. Alright, Control D. Forward, as you can see, it's already under the ground. So we're doing it in small increments on account of that. Trying to keep it at a certain level. Alrighty. And we're just about there. At least it don't take as long as it could. Could take a lot longer. Now let's look at this side. Not too bad. Let's turn it a little bit. Control D. Drag it out. Lower it. Tip it forward. Tip it over. Forward. Come down where you can see it. Check the back. Not too bad. Alright, Control D. I'm hoping we're almost at the end. Once we get on the flat part, it'll be faster. Tip it forward. Drag it over. Tip it that way a little. Check the front. Needs to go back a little. This way a little. Okay. Control D. Drag it forward. Lift it up. Check the front and the back. Tip it if you have to. Not that far. Okay, once it does that, you need to undo it. Because it's way too far to deal with. Yep, 2 double. There we go. Sometimes it don't want to do what you want. There we go. Drag it over. Well, we gotta tip it over to do that. Drag it over. Turn it a little bit. Go look at the front. Tip it up a little bit. Lift it slightly up. It don't matter about that dip. We're not worried about that because it'll show the road flat. It won't be a dip there. Control D. Drag it forward. Lift it up. Roll up. Tip it back. Lower it. Tip it over. Lift it up a little. Tip it back just a little. Check the front. And it's decent. Could go up slightly. Just to not be hitting the ground is too much. And anywhere where you're going too far, you may have to smooth the road down over it. So you just have to adjust it a little bit. Lift it up a little. Tip it just a little. Check the back side. Decent. Control D. Drag it out. Lift it up. Try to tip it up. Come on down where you can adjust it. Trying to get it situated. You can turn it, you can move it if you have to. If you like that. Check the back side. And we'll move it just a little bit forward. Alright, Control D. It's a nice steep hill here. Alright, let's lift it up. Come on down to where we can see a little better. Lift it up. Tip it a little. Check the back side. Decent. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Control D. It's gonna be a lot. We're almost there. And lower it and then tip it. some more, roll in for a loop, tip it this way, lower it, tip it back a little, and check the front. Good enough. Actually tip it just a little that way. Control D, drag it out, over, curve it, and tip it this way, lower it, not that far, roll in where you can see a little better, tip it some more, and check the back side. Tip it forward. Okay, it's not letting me. There we go. Check the front. Good enough. Control D, bring it out a little more, tip it over, lower it down, turn it around, slide it over, tip it forward, tip it this way a little bit, lift it up, and the front looks good. Check the back. The back's a little bit farther. Not bad, that's good enough. We're going to turn it some more. First we're going to drag it over so it hopefully aligns up better. Control D, and we should be on our last piece, I hope. And we're going to drag it over a little bit, not too far, because we ain't worried too much about it. But pretend our road line comes here, so we got to bring it on out a little, get this line on it. Got to turn it a little bit, because this is where that line's going to be, right there. And we can adjust this side since there's not a road there. So now we're going to check the front, tip it up a lot, not that much, tip it over, check the back, needs to go forward a little bit, check this side again, good enough, and we're going to call that good. Now what you do after you've laid it out, have a look at it from up above. Now just so you can see it, you could run into some trouble here. Probably this one and this one. We'll probably run into trouble here and here, and maybe here. Not sure. Turn it just a little. We'll have to see, but the rest of it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. And this may be trouble on the bridge, which I didn't realize I was supposed to do the shorter one, but I didn't mean to do this. I didn't even know I was doing it. We'll see what happens here though. Anyway, once you're done, you're gonna go come up here and hit roadway 2. Once it highlights all the markers, you're gonna hit File, Export Selection, not the other one, Export Selection. Go to your Downloads folder. Go to where your Spline Constructor is. And in this case, I already have made one, but if you hadn't made one, all you do is go to Create, Transform Group, Roadway 1, and then export the selection, and then when it's highlighted on roadway 2, and then put it in this Spline Street Constructor area in the downloads or wherever you have it, and then that'll be the one you're going to be clicking on after you come back. So in this case, we're going to click on Splines 2. If you don't have that one, which if you're brand new, you won't. You have to watch the other video I did, and it shows you what to do. But on your second road, your first one would have been Splines right here. That was my first road. And then I had roadway 1 as my first road. You got two different things you need. You need a Splines 2 and a roadway 2. Then you need a Splines 3 and a roadway 3. So now we're going to hit Splines because we want to save this to the Splines. And you're going to hit Save. And it's going to write it on. It wants to rewrite it. You say yes. on that one. Any one of them, but as long as you're hitting the right road that you chose. Alright, once you do that, gonna open up the constructor, and you're gonna come in here and you're gonna find it, and you're gonna say, oh, application. You're gonna double click it. It's gonna open this. Now I don't want the grass this time, so I'm gonna have to work around it and see what I can do. And I'm also gonna adjust the road width, which is this one. So we're gonna hit load parameter. Hit Strasse, which is for street. Then we're gonna come. They put that one there, but I don't. Excuse me. I don't want it, so I'm gonna see if I can get rid of it. Yeah, I'm gonna just close it, see if that works, because it put this other information in. Is what they were doing. I'm gonna change this to. Let me think. I'm gonna say 8. I don't know if that's wide enough. We'll have to see. Then you're gonna come to here. You're gonna pick which roadway you want. I never did put my roads in there. I'm trying to think of which one I want right here. So I'm gonna cancel that for now and have a peek at my map real quick. Alright, so what do I want? That's a pretty curvy thing. I don't think you would be passing anybody on it because it's so curvy. We could do the double lines, but I don't know. I guess I'll try it. Let me see. If you saw my other video, you saw me make them, and they're in here. And this is the double yellow line. Means nobody can pass. So I might do that. I'm gonna hit copy because I don't want to take the main one, and go to downloads, put it in there, put it in the spline constructor, just right click down here and paste it. Now this one, then that one will be here for me to select. So close that, not close it, but minimize it. Go back to this, click on this. Okay, there it is, double. Click the double one, double yellow, click open. Now that's the road it's going to pick that I made. I'm going to leave all that for now. There are things you can change, but you need to just, when you're learning, it's best to just learn first and not change everything up too much. Alright, so then you're going to come up here to i3D, and in this case we're going to be picking roadway 2, but if it was your first time it would be roadway 1, the i3D that you made. So we're going to hit roadway 2, save. We're going to rename this to roadway 2, and then we're going to come to the splines thing right here and click it, and you're going to click on splines 2 in this case because this is the second one we're doing. But if you're doing your first road, you'd click splines, or you could have named it splines 1. So we're going to do splines 2, and we're going to click open, and it's going to put all those coordinates that these markers made, all the X, Y, and Z rotate and translate. As you can see, all those coordinates. And it tells you there's 52 of these markers, so we're good on all that. And if you'll click on this, you can see it's a flat road. It didn't add those curves on account of I didn't add them. Normally you would add them. We're testing it to see if it does what I want it to do without it. This is my first test on it, by the way. And this is where you would have put these on 1, is what I heard. I don't know how crucial that was in the video I saw. I've never tried it the other way, so it was on like 5, and then but I changed it. So you could also, I've seen other people change it to like 0.5 and different things. So if you're learning, I would put it on 1 and see, and if not, then whatever. But anyway, so that was already set, so I don't have to do anything to it. Once you do it once and hit OK, it's gonna stay. And once you've done all those steps that I've just done, you're ready, and you hit go. and it says it did whatever it's supposed to do. Looks like there might be some trouble. I can't tell. I don't know what that says. Something about texture. I don't think it likes the grass not being there. But I'll have to see. So now we're gonna minimize it. We're gonna leave it up, minimize it, come back in here, and we're gonna hit File, Import, and then we're gonna hit Roadway 2 and Open. And once it opens, it's down here at the bottom. We're gonna click Edit, Cut, Roll Up, hit Roadway 2, Edit, Paste. And hopefully the road's there and it's not all twisted up too bad. You see there's a little bit of a twist there. It looks like we did pretty good though. Once I lift it up, we'll know. I gotta lift it up. No, so let's go see. Oh, look at our road over the bridge thing though. Oh, it was close. It wasn't quite wide enough. Now I could shrink the bridge down, but what I may do is go back in and let it do it again and make it a 10 and see if that was enough. But for now, it's got it there, and now we're gonna lift it. We're gonna hit it on the Y and put 0.55. Usually lifts it up enough. And as you can see, whoa! Did that just shoot up in the air? That's so funny. See, they didn't like that turn, and so they shot it in the air. That's good to know. Cool. But why is there a street over here if they did that? And this is also something that you have to look out for. This one they didn't like, this marker. And there's one they didn't like. But the rest of it was pretty close, as you can see. You can tell what's what. Now this we could have just took that road part away as long as the road was decent. And then you can see it was mostly good over here. See, that ain't bad. I'm glad that part was good. That helps. That's good. Not bad at all. I like that. My lines on my middle parts probably could have been closer together, to be honest. I'd have to look at it in game. But this was a test one anyway, so I can always redo it. So these, when you have them tipped up like that, you can click on this one and barely tilt it wherever there's parts that are tipped up. You don't want to go much. For now, I'm going to leave it just to see. Now this one, when you see it like this, when you see it tipped up like that, typically this one is the problem. Excuse me. And you would tip it the way that it's the higher side. So you want to tip it down on this side. So I would tip it this way a little. Even though you're not, you know it don't look right, it works. So now that may have only done that because of that one over there. Excuse me. And then you got this piece. So if I was to lift it, oh, undo that. If I was to hit the road and lift it, well, I don't even see the thing now. There we go. Let's lift it. See how you can see the rest of the road, how it went down? See? So those are the ones you won't want to change. You probably would tip this one to this way. Yeah, excuse me. You would tip that one over that way. So you can see, it'll show you, it'll be wherever your problem is, it'll be there. Now obviously the rest of it was great. You see how it was all flat. So you can see it works. It's just, and it went down and curved. I didn't quite get my line just right, but that's why I said it was crucial lining it up on that other tutorial. As you can see, they're not hitting just right. But there are roads that are painted that way, so don't worry too much. That's so funny. We're going up. It's like a roller coaster. Yeehaw. Oh, it just keeps going. How high can we go? Driving in the sky. And we have went out of screen. Okay. It's still going. Wow. Okay. We're not gonna go up that high. That's a bit much. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go back down. And what you would have to do is, you know, these are good. This one's the one that you got to deal with. There's a couple options. Excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and delete the road and get it out of our way. So we already know where the problem is. There's a couple options. One, you could just run this and go straight across and meet up the road there and not have it torture you and do all that. And then where you know it was working, you can still make it a road that comes this way and just take those away. Or if you don't want to do that, you'll have to come to these and start dragging them this way. As soon as you came off, you have to start curving them at a slight curve so that you curve here and line up to hit over here. I guess we'll try that and then try it again and then call it. I don't want to go too far with it though. Because see, then it'll be a problem when you go too far and too much of a turn. It don't like it. So you really have to watch that. That's why I didn't go that way to start with. I was trying to... I mean, I'm sure there's a way to get that other one to work. I just don't want to fight with it. There we go. That one could come up a little bit. Alright. And you need to keep these in order. Make sure you're grabbing the ones that was in the order that it was in, because you don't want it to mess you up. I'm going to drag this one over, turn this one over, and hopefully that's enough. Tip it around, bring it down, change it. Okay. Bring this over. Excuse me. Okay. Bring it up, twist it around. Make sure the arrow's still going the correct way. Alright. Now that might be too much of a turn, so we'll bring it over some. And try not to turn it too sharply. Sometimes it's good to come on this side so you can see what you're doing, how far you're going. Bring it over, bring it up, out, turn it. Alright, then you run on over here. Be sure you're on it when you start moving stuff, because if you click something, be careful, because I deleted my mountain by accidentally deleting the fence. Then it clicked the mountain, and I was hitting delete, 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 and bye-bye mountains. And I didn't know it until after I looked at it later. I was like, where's my mountains? And they were gone, and I saw it in the video that I had probably deleted it when I was doing the fence. That was funny. Well, I guess it wasn't that funny. I was like, where's my mountains? I had to redo them. So you don't want it to be too hard of a turn. Bring it up, turn it around. It's a tedious job. As you can see, it's been quite a long video, longer than normal. Hopefully you've stuck around and gotten some information that'll help you. Because if you see it mess up and somebody fix it, it helps you more, because a lot of times they only show the part where it works, and they don't show where it didn't work, and then you don't know. So I try to show both. I don't like it to not know, because then you're like, oh well, they probably had 100 problems and then didn't show you that. So I'm going to try to show some of that too, because then it helps you learn how to do it. Helps you learn what to troubleshoot, kind of what to do. Alright, this one's kind of too far. Bring you back a little. Come down where I can see. Bring you up a little. Twist you a little. I think it's good. Let me check this side. Not bad, not bad. Gotta get over here. Check this one. Think we gotta tip it a little bit, down a little bit. Check this side, tip it back a little. Lift it up a little. Should be fine. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Not trying to hurt your ears. Alright, and then you're gonna situate that one. Alright. Not too bad. And this one, we're gonna turn, drag him over. And I think that's good. And if it's not, like I said, it's because this one comes out and then has to make a hard turn. So you might want to tip him down a little bit. See how it's a hard turn there? Now if it doesn't look too straight, you need to try to straighten it a little bit. And then click on the other one. And straighten him a little bit. Or it a little bit. And the rest of it should be pretty close. I mean, I think all the rest of it wasn't horrible. This one I think was the one that needed to be tipped a little bit though. Alright, I think the rest wasn't too bad. So I think I'm going to leave the rest of it. Alright, so we're good on that. Now I'll go back to roadway 2. And file, export selection, splines 2, save. Yes, we want to replace it. Go back to here. You don't have to redo all that other stuff. You just hit the splines one. And you need to hit splines 2. I hope I hit splines 2 a while ago. And hit open, and it puts the coordinates in, and then you hit go. And it looks alright, and you minimize it, and then you come back and hit file, and accidentally hit whatever else that was. Import, roadway 2, open. I might have to change that one, I'm not sure. But anyway, let's cut it and see what happens first. Cut, roll up, roadway 2, edit, paste, put it in, and it looks like we're good. We just gotta come over here, 0.55, and we look like we're pretty close. And we're not in the air anymore, and we just have a little cleanup work to do, but that's normal. And oh, I forgot to do the width. Okay, but as long as we're right, that's all I want to see, is that we're correct. Let me see it. Yep. And that's just a little cleanup work. That's normal. That's perfect. And then we can raise that up just a little bit, this part of the road. That's fine. That's perfect. Alright, so now, see, we got a little dip where it's here. And it's like, drops down a little bit. And then goes sailing across this bridge. And then it gets to here, and it just... Alright. So we're going to do it one more time. So what I'm going to do, I know some of you probably panicking right now. I'm going to hit delete. But I'm not deleting the planes, I'm just deleting the road. Just so I can resize it. So we're going to go back. Click on here. I'm going to come up here. Put 10. And we're going to go It's already back on that, so we're good. Gonna hit go, and then we're gonna minimize. Then we'll come to File, Import, Roadway 2, Open. We're gonna cut it. It's already highlighted. Gotta cut it. Put it up here in the Roadway 2. Edit, paste. Once it's pasted, we're gonna make sure it's right. Put it on the Y, 0.55. Okay, that's good. And let's check the road, see if it's wide enough. Oh, it's pretty close. Let me check it. Got a little crack there. We're gonna have to make it wider. But my problem is if I make it too much wider, let me back off to the bottom of it. It's actually pretty close, because if I move it, the white lines are going to go underneath this, and I need them to be on there. So what I'm thinking I'll do is adjust the bridge a little bit. I think it's going to be this one. Not sure how far to go. Is it this one? How about 1.7? 1.7. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Undo. Whoa! Give me my bridge back. Okay. So is it... It must be this one then. How about we do... 2.4? No, I should be less. 2 point... Just put 3. Without the 4-3. Oh, that changed the wrong thing. Okay. I'm gonna undo that again. Ah! Okay. They're trying to why did it move the road? I don't know what they're doing. Alright, so 1 point... I think it should be 0.9. Okay, I think that's it. I think I did it. Let me look. Alright, so now it's not a crack on that one. Is it going to be one here? Does it look like one? I think that's it. Potentially. Looks like it. It looks like the bridge needs to be adjusted just a little bit. I don't know why it's looking like that right there. On that end. This side's fine. I would have to tilt the bridge a little bit. Not really. It's showing no white line on either of those sides. How about we put 9.9? Okay, let me see what we got here. Still cracked. So you gotta get rid of that crack. This one's awful close though, as you can see. There's only a little bit of trouble down here. Well, that one, I don't know what the bridge is doing. But the only trouble you got is how the white line does down here. And the bridge is doing something weird. And this is not quite there. So that means we'd have to tilt the bridge. I'm gonna try to tilt it. I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's test that. See, there's a crack there. Probably tilted it too much. I'm gonna try to move the bridge a little more, but it's, you know, it's kind of hard to get it just right. So and then I guess you slide it over a little bit, about right there. See how that looks? Okay, that side looks pretty good, as far as I can tell. I don't see any real cracks. That one, no, it's not quite. I think that's pretty much it. We pretty well got it. I don't see a crack. Oh, yeah, I do. There is one other thing you could do. Obviously, I'm not going to move it again because it should be pretty close. I don't want to make it worse. All of it's pretty close, except that part. That's pretty bad. You could make put curbs on this part up to that if you have to. So if you put your road in and you're not happy with it because it's doing that, there's some curbs or some cement slabs that you can lay across here and just lay it right on top of the road just a little bit and put it back as far as you need and try to run it down there that way. So I'm not going to fight with it right now, but you get the point. It's enough where you could figure it out from there. And you'll come over here, click on sculpt mode, put it on, make sure one of them's on smooth and one of them's on subtract. The smooth, you can roll in a little bit and use your right mouse button to smooth it a little bit. And if you can't smooth it all the way, then you'll have to use subtract. But if you can, it's best just to use the smooth. If you can't, come over a little bit and barely use the subtract button. Alright, good enough. Good enough. Get that little piece. I'm not going to make it perfect right now, but you get the point. You can make it the way you need to. This piece needs some cleaning to do. This is just from the angle that we made it. And we're going to smooth that. I don't want to smooth, so we're going to use subtract. And this should be fine. Just make it whatever level you have to do to get it right. And it's good enough. Bring it on down. And you can make it all, you know, perfect. But I ain't gonna smooth it all. But basically, I'm gonna smooth these spots so you can see they're okay, because they're just the way the road was. You can adjust it if you don't like it. If it's too much of a curve, just adjust those and just smooth it on off. And get it on down. And if it's too much, you can always adjust it. Like if you don't like the shape of that curve, how much it's going. If it's too much, if it's too wavy and you don't like it, you just need to adjust these. If that's a little bit too wavy, we probably would adjust these. What you would do is right here, this one where it's lifted up, you would bring it down. You would tip this one down. You would go to another one, check it. If it's lifted up, you're going to want to tip it down. It's probably this one. Let me see. So you just got to get where you can see the angle. of which one is up. So this one needs to go a little bit, and then this one, let's see, this one's up on that side, so then you would want to tip it the other way to pull that down. Not far, just a little bit. And you would want to do the same here if you thought it was necessary. If you didn't like that little loop, I think that's good enough on that one. And these aren't terrible. There's a couple that you need to deal with. You just have to look, see which one it is. This one's lifted, so you could tip it gently down, even though it don't look right. So see how that don't look right here? Don't worry about it. It usually works when you tip it, even though it don't look right. And the rest of it's pretty good. And it could have been lower. We could have lowered it a little bit more. Put it at like back 4.7. Oh, I can't do that. Undo that. Put that back at 5.5. Put the road at that 4.7. And check the bridge again. See, that brought it on down to the bridge level a little bit better. But you have to adjust all this. But I'm not going to do all that on screen right now. But you can see the road looks pretty good. You just got to adjust it wherever you're having problems and use your stuff to get that off of there. Since I lowered it, and you would get that, smooth that out. It would be there. But anyway, and once you're done and you're satisfied, you would take it, and you need to do one more thing. You need to click on it, the roadway thing, and well, first you would delete all these markers. So you would click on one of them, then hold down the control button and click on each one. There's probably another way you can do it, but click on all of them till you highlight all the planes, and then hit delete. Don't delete the roadway 2 down there or the top one. Then you would click on roadway 2 after you delete those markers, which I'm not going to do because I want to adjust it a little bit more. You're going to hit File, Export Selection with Files. Then you're going to go, it's going to go to pop up a thing. You're going to put your map location. So you're going to go to Documents, My Games, Mods, or Farming Sim 19, whichever one you're working on. The map name that you're working on, put it in the folder that you pick for it after you hit map. Like mine's Jules Peaceful Valley Maps. Then it's Objects. So I put mine in the Objects folder. But if you haven't already watched the first video that shows you all that, so this is just me going along on my map. So I'm not showing all these extra things that I showed in the tutorial video, because I'm just going along working on it. And I'm not satisfied fully with this yet, so that's why I got to adjust that one. See, that's why I tipped it, but it should pull it down and it'll get all correct. And you can always change your road level if you have to. So, but anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one, and as you can see, it comes over here nicely. Just have to adjust a little bit of the ground and you're good. But thanks for watching. Appreciate all new subscribers. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Stay tuned for more map making and other things that I do on the map and other games, and I appreciate it. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.